Hello, everybody, and welcome into another News and Rumors video here at the Hockey Writers YouTube channel. I'm your host, Mattias Zator, and we are doing the Edmonton Oilers on this one. I got Brian Swane, who always joins me for any of these videos. How's it going, Brian?
I'm doing good. We're a week into the season now, and things are going kind of smooth in Edmonton for once. So,
yeah. Yeah, well, I know when we talked last as the season preview that McDavid wasn't signed. We were talking about that. Now he's signed, so you can move on. We can move on from that now, at least for 2 years. We won't have that hanging over. But the season has started pretty well for the Oilers. They're 2-0-1 as we're recording this right now, having a pretty good start, and that's a difference from what has been in the past. They've had really slow starts over the last, I think, was a couple seasons. I guess it could still happen, but it's a good start. So one thing, the latest change that the Oilers, apart from Connor McDavid signing, was Jack Roslovic signing a free agent contract after sitting out training camp. He didn't get a training camp with anyone who's skating, but eventually he signed with the Oilers, made his debut in the last game. What did you think about him? I mean, of course, it probably didn't make a big difference because it's his first game and not having a training camp or preseason. What did you make of him with the Oilers, and where do you think he fits in moving forward here?
Yeah, I mean, I would say you probably got fair assessment that he didn't make a huge difference, but then again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, he wasn't really noticeable in either. Certainly didn't stand out in a bad way. I thought as you mentioned, for someone who didn't have training camp, didn't have any preseason, is coming in pretty much cold like that, and is brand new to the team to top that all off, right? He hasn't played with any of these guys before. I thought he looked okay. He was on the second line with Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins, and I thought they looked okay too. So I don't know if that's where his permanent spot's going to be. I mean, I think in an ideal situation, or to get the most out of him, he probably plays in the top 6. Mm-hmm. And where that looks moving forward, right now that works because Zach Hyman isn't in the lineup, or Zach Hyman's still out for a few weeks yet. Mm-hmm. Once he comes back, then things start to get really interesting. And I don't know how much this has been talked about outside of Edmonton, but he has this interesting clause in his contract that kicks in on November 1st. So before November 1st, it's a no trade clause. On November 1st, it becomes kicks in where he can be traded to a list of 4 teams. So when that news got out about a week ago, and that started people going, when that came out, people started going kind of, because that's about the time when Hyman is supposed to come back. Yeah, and also Jesse Wellman, who's hurt right now too. And so the Oilers will not only have to make space for Hyman in the lineup, but they're going to have to make space on the roster for both these guys. So it's kind of almost, some people are kind of looking at that contract structure and saying, okay, is he basically like on a 3-week tryout here? Is it kind of from now to November 1st to show what he can do, and if he fits in, and if not, he's going to get dealt elsewhere. So it's really, I mean, it's a very unpredictable situation, and I don't know what if that is indeed the case where this is a showcase. Like, I think they maybe play 8 or 9 games between now and November the 1st. So it's, especially like we said, guy who's new to the team, didn't have training camp, didn't have preseason, coming into this, and I don't know what kind of a gauge you're going to get on him over the next couple weeks, but we'll see. I do think if he is here long term, I think I do like him. I think a great option would be playing him with Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins on the second line. The Oilers started the season for the first couple games with McDavid and Draisaitl on the first line. I've never been a big fan of that. I've liked to kind of, and there's 2 schools of thought to that, and I get both of them. Yeah. You either load up or you distribute the wealth, so to speak, right? And I think once Hyman comes back anyway, I mean, him and McDavid have proven to be such an incredible combination together, and then you can just have whoever on the top line with them. And so I think that's the direction it would go anyway. And then you got Draisaitl dropping the second line with Nuge, and now potentially like last year it was Podkolzin, and maybe this year it's Roslovic. So we'll see. So it's going to be very, very interesting next couple weeks here.
For sure. And Roslovic can play center as well. I mean, it's a very versatile guy. He can, and I mean, he's played all over lineups before. He has a 22-goal season last season too. So I was really actually surprised it took this long for him to sign with someone because, I mean, was there no demand for him? I don't know. I mean, every team could probably use a 20-goal scorer in their lineup.
You would think, right?
You're right. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it was just the fact that no team wanted to pay what he wanted or the term or whatever. I don't know what. I know there was different contract structures that were being thrown out throughout the offseason of what he wanted. But yeah, that is an interesting clause. That was
the clause is interesting, and I think you make up a good point. That is, I don't want to say that should it set off alarm bells that it took him this long. Like, is there a reason? And I have no idea. But why did it take a guy that is a 20-goal scorer until like the regular season that literally started already? And I don't know. I think he might have got some bad advice from an agent and was looking to get paid more, and probably I forget who reported it. Man, somebody. I wish I could give them their proper credit, but somebody had said that he had left, and it was a reliable source too. But I'm blanking on who it was. But somebody had said that he left in the neighborhood of like $11 million over 3 years on the table at some point in over the summer, that he had declined the deal that would have paid him that much. And so here he is now taking 1 year at 1.5. So I mean, if somebody had told him that, don't take this, you're going to get more, and this is what he ends up with. I don't know, right? So, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything more to it. I don't know if the guys, he just doesn't fit in well with his previous teams, or if there's something that's been said that he's, that might be why they don't want to sign him. But here we are.
Yeah, I know. I heard something about $3 million being thrown out as something that he wanted, and the Canucks were involved in those talks at one point.
Did the Canucks know? I think that they actually, has it been reported, they actually made an official formal offer to him at some point?
They did give him an offer, but it wasn't what he wanted. So, yeah.
That'll be a lot more than we got.
Yeah, we might see it. I don't know. We might see him in Vancouver.
I don't know if he's on that, if the Vancouver's on that list of 4 teams or not, but I guess find out. Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Well, I mean, there's going to be fallout, of course, from the signing. Like you said, the roster could get pretty crowded pretty quickly once everyone kind of comes back. One guy, I know you wrote an article about him, was Isaac Howard. I mean, he hasn't really made a huge impact yet. I mean, everyone was kind of thinking he was going to maybe, but everyone forgets this guy's a rookie. I mean, he's just coming out of the NCAA. I mean, I don't know if everyone was expecting more, but where do you think is the best place for him moving forward? Is it, I mean, he can go to the AHL with no problems at all. So what do you think about that?
I think it's the AHL, and I think I wrote that before the most recent game. I wrote that after the Oilers' first 2 games, but I only think that even more after last night. I mean, he looked okay, but you're exactly right. I mean, this is, I think expectations, there was so much hype around him. Especially after, his amazing college season last year. But yeah, he's just coming out of college and straight to the pros. And, to be able to make an instant impact in that situation is pretty rare. So, to think he was going to come in here and be a 25-goal scorer or not, I think that was a bit too high expectations. And who knows, he still could. Yeah. But I just think it just makes so much sense to me. Like, you see this all the time where teams are in a situation where they have to put kids in places where maybe they shouldn't be, and it can sometimes stunt their development or be adverse to them. The Oilers don't have to do that with him. They can let him cook down in Bakersfield for even if it's half a season or so, and then if he's really tearing it up, maybe they want to consider bringing him back up, say post-Olympic break. But the Oilers already have issue with trying to find space for all the guys they have on their roster. They don't have a lot of guys that are waiver exempt. He's one of them. So to me, it makes the most sense. Now they took Noah Philp out of the lineup to make room for Roslovic, which I thought was interesting. Because if they're ultimately going to send or try to send Philp down to Bakersfield, well, he's got to clear waivers. And I thought he's had his terrific preseason. I thought he did great in the first 2 games of the season. He scored his first ever career goal. against Vancouver on Saturday. So I think there's a risk of him getting sniped by somebody else if you put him on the waiver. So to me, I don't risk that. I know Noah Philp isn't a make it or break it guy, but I think he could be a really nice piece for them. He's somebody they've invested a lot in. He's a really cool story. He's from here. He's gone through a lot to get to the point he's at. And I just think he can be a really valuable piece for the organization. He's a well-rounded player. So I wouldn't want to lose him. So to me, it just makes too much sense. Like you've got to make space on this roster. You don't necessarily want to lose any of these guys. Even if hypothetically, let's say that you feel that Howard is ready to play in the NHL right now. I just think when you look at the team's goals, this is not a team that's building for the future, right? It's not, it's about winning right now. So to me, every point just seems to make sense that it would be the move to send him down.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, development-wise, he might get a bit more. I mean, look at what Matt Savoy did last season in the AHL. Yeah. He had a really good season. And now he's right. So, I mean, he might have, you'd think he'd have a really good season in the AHL with his skill level. So, I mean, Dust hasn't looked out of place in the NHL. It's not.
No, and I think that, I think that's a testament. I think that says a lot about who this guy can be in the long term. Right. But his gift is offensive. That's where his skills lie. That's where he'll most likely, if he, impact the game. And right now he's playing on the fourth line, getting 9 or 10 minutes a game. And, I think he's maybe had 2 shifts on the power play. So it's like he's just not being put in a position to maximize his skill right now anyway. Yeah. But I mean, that is a great point you made. He hasn't looked out of place. And I think that says a lot about his long-term potential.
Yeah, and I do think he'd be better off playing in the AHL with the, top line minutes, top power play, all that, and get that. So, we'll see what happens with him once kind of everything, when they have to start making decisions with moving some of these guys around. Another guy that might need to be moved around, or he's injured right now, but is that Mattias Janmark. No, I mean, you mentioned Noah Philp, similar type, player, right? Of course, Janmark a lot older, but do you think he has a spot on the team anymore? I mean, he's been a valuable piece on the Oilers in the past, he's been really good in the playoffs. Not so much in the regular season offensively and stuff, but it seems like the playoffs he kind of shines. So what do you think about his status with the Oilers?
Yeah, that's a tricky one, and he's kind of his return date too is kind of falling in around the same time as all these other guys. He might be back a bit earlier. So again, that's somebody else they got to find a space for on this roster. I don't know. I'm not the biggest Janmark guy myself, but I do see the value that he brings to this team. And he's found a niche, and he's played it well, I guess I would say, on this team. Like, the guy never scores anymore. Yeah. He's good for like 2 or 3 goals a season, and then he'll score 2 or 3 more in the playoffs, but often in the same game. But I don't know. I mean, is Noah Philp a younger, cheaper replacement for him? And if they decide to move on from Janmark, maybe that's somebody that there is potential interest in the trade market on. I'm not sure. I don't know what he would attract at this point in time, his career interest-wise either, but they might be able to get something for him. I think Knobloch, Coach Knobloch is pretty high on him. I think you just look at, like, Janmark, despite what his shortcomings, has had a consistent, steady place in the lineup for this team over the duration of the last 2 or 3 seasons, and he's been a part of what has been a very successful period for this team. You can't deny that, and he's had a role and he's played it. So, yeah, I don't know. I think if I have to guess, I think there's a chance that he might get moved. Yeah. I think there's a chance he might get moved. But again, I really don't know what kind of interest there would be out there for him. I'm not sure.
It's true. I mean, he is just a bottom 6 guy. I mean, good penalty killer, has some speed. I mean, he can add to a bottom 6 to another team as well. Oilers won't get much for him. Probably more somebody a draft pick or that future considerations type thing. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, they're gonna have to make some, like we said, make some decisions on some of these guys They can't keep them all. I mean, that's just the reality of it, especially after adding Roslovic there. Gets a bit of a logjam once everyone's healthy. So we'll see how that all plays out as time goes on and how the Oilers go. And yeah, some injuries could happen too, and that usually happens as well.
They probably will, right? So yeah, you never know. It's not a bad problem for the Oilers to have. This is never a bad problem to have.
No, and that good NHL bodies that can play a role is always good, especially like I say when injuries and stuff happen. So we'll see how the Oilers do for the rest of the week, and until our next video, we'll talk whatever that's happened. So thanks, Brian, for coming on, talking to Oilers. And, there's no problems that it seems like the extension, all those contract things that were going to hang over everyone's head, it's all done. Jake Wallman, we talked about him being re-signed. He's re-signed. Connor McDavid's re-signed. So Oilers can just kind of focus on what it is right now. So
it's funny, that was only like 2 or 3 weeks ago we were talking, and here we are. So it just shows you how fast the world spins and things move. And so I can only imagine what we'll be talking about next time we get together, right?
Yeah, for sure. And Stuart Skinner is just had a shutout, so I guess he
had a classic Skinner game to start the season, and everyone was the pitchforks were out here, and then he comes back and plays what I think was one of his best regular season games in a very long time last night. So there you go. Yep.
Yeah, well, we talked about him. It's his consistency. That's got to be better. He's a good goalie. He's just got to be consistently good. And
yes,
we'll see. We'll see if he can continue that.
Yeah.
But make sure checking out everythingtalkers.com. We've got great articles every day from the Oilers writing team. One of the more active writing teams on the site. So make sure checking out all that. Recaps, takeaways, all that fun stuff. And until our next News and Rumors video, we will see you next time.